As the name suggests, incident management and response. Well, first we need to detect, report and escalate incidents quickly or in a manner that is suitable for the environment in which we're reporting in. That might be legislative environment or it might be just common sense. We need to coordinate the responses to protect people, assets and the environment and even our reputation in the event of an incident. We want to follow the legal, regulatory, but also to any organisational requirements centred around how we treat incidents, investigating the root cause and where we hope to prevent reoccurrence. Preventive versus corrective would be another way to consider that. And then learning from incidents and improving the response plans. Because in today's world, disaster recovery, business continuity are all front and centre. And again, how we treat incidents and respond to them is what makes or breaks an organisation. There is always a risk in any organisation that if something does happen of a negative nature, i.e. an incident, people just don't know what to do. Sometimes they'll panic, they'll ask the next person and so on and so on. So that can lead to delays, mistakes, or even safety and security implications. So we need to run regular drills. And even if that's down on the factory floor, whether it's fire, whether it's safety, whether it's a medical event, regular drills, simulations, and performing refresher training. It sometimes feels overstated, but it's really important. Being a member of Surf Life Saving Australia, we always are prepared and we're trained. We do that every year, no matter what. And whether you're in operations, maintenance, or whatever the nature of your organisation is, it always pays to be prepared. During an incident, depending on the severity, confusion can set in, misinformation spread. During incidents, the rumour mill starts, and what might have been a minor incident becomes a catastrophic one in the eyes of people. Or worse, what is seen as what actually is a catastrophic event is miscommunicated, and people keep working as though nothing's happened. We need to establish clear protocols. If you've ever been to a large office building, you'll see there's certain protocols regarding disruption, fire, bomb threats, terrorists, etc. We don't have to take the same into our organisation, but by having clear roles, protocols, etc., it makes the escalation path easier and everyone knows exactly what to do. That lowers angst, but also too means that we can address any crisis with safety and security at the paramount. When an incident occurs, we don't want to get and fall into the old blame, deny and justify cycle. We do run a risk sometimes that staff will fear being blamed, so any incident that has occurred goes unreported. It's suppressed. You don't want that. You want to make sure that everything is brought to the surface. Now that can be made complicated when people feel like they're dobbing in someone for something that has occurred, but you don't have to say how it occurred or who made it occur. You just simply have to highlight it that it did occur and let top management worry about that. So that just culture, if you heard of James T. Reason before, he talks about the just culture. He talks about the Swiss cheese model because blame culture, when it starts to manifest across the life cycle in the organisation, it's not good. It's very hard to recover from. So again, visibility and transparency of reporting of incidents is key. During an incident, wherever possible, to have visibility of leaders, top management, being accessible and feeling some of the pain of an incident goes a long way. Because there's a real risk if leaders are absent or unclear, well, it creates uncertainty. Is it that important to them? Why am I trying to resolve this entire incident when I've got top management upstairs that don't even come down and investigate, as an example? So we need to train leaders in crisis response, how to respond as opposed to react to an incident, but also very much ensuring visibility during events. And if they're not there during the event, maybe a walkthrough post-event can demonstrate that they care. If after an incident we discover a better way of doing something that prevents that incident, or maybe it's a different way we can respond to incidents, we can run a risk sometimes that we don't learn from the lessons and they're not acted upon. I've got an old saying that a lesson learned is a lesson earned, so take advantage of it. But sometimes there can be resistance to change after incidents because we may be changing the way we, again, go about our business. But if we can link corrective actions to improvement, track the implementation of it, and then demonstrate the effectiveness of that new control or new way of doing things, that resistance to change becomes more of, wow, the organization's listened to me or listened to us, and we've now got a way forward. We can apply this elsewhere in the business. During an incident of any negative type, you see the true colours, the true behaviour of people and of an organisation. What we really run the risk of is poor incident handling, can damage reputation, of course with regulators, can see a reputation hit by way of customers, the public, but of course even internally to our own organisation. Stakeholder trust can be eroded, so therefore we really need to be able to communicate openly, transparently, demonstrate accountability and voluntarily accountability as opposed to I'm being told to be accountable for that, and highlight corrective measures. What are those corrective measures? What are the controls we're putting in place? Because if you can get everyone throughout a crisis and bring people closer together in the bad times, chances are 99% of the time people will outperform in the good times. So again, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. From an ISO 55001 point of view, the two sections that really align to incident management response, section 8.1, operational planning and control, including lifecycle management, and also 10.2, non-conformity and corrective action. For those that don't know, preventive action under the ISO now fits within corrective action, created a little bit of confusion, but it's still the old thing. Corrective is fixing the symptom as it has occurred. Preventive is improving and stopping it from reoccurring in the future. So in summary, incident management and response ensures the organisation can act quickly, safely, and effectively when things go wrong. It's as simple as that, but often we don't learn from previous incidents. And as I said before, a lesson learned is a lesson earned.